guys, I'm Motional. Today I just want to talk about a topic that I've been seeing around. It's a common topic in all our lives and stuff, and it's been coming up a lot lately um, in my life, and I've been seeing it everywhere. But yeah, it's just at the top of my head. A couple of weeks ago, it came to my attention that I have two friends that I've grown up with, known a very long time, and they have a baby together. I had no idea. The child is big now, you know, in high school probably, or the end of primary school. So, yeah, a big child. And all of these years, I didn't know that, you know, this guy was the father. No scandal behind this story, anything. It's just factual. I just didn't know, and everyone's looking at me like, "What are you talking about?" But you've all grown up together, and I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't know." Um, and it's really funny because if it's it was mentioned to me the other day by my daughter's father as well that funny enough, he's never met one of his god brothers fathers, and doesn't know who they are, or somebody close to him anyway, their father never know. And it's common, it's very common. And the thing is, I don't pay attention much to some details and stuff. And I remember just a few weeks ago, or maybe a month, my brain's all over the place, but my friend, a very good friend, grown up together and everything, we were doing a little meet. She had a little one, and she said, we were talking about babies and stages and stuff, and she said, Tash, like, they got, the two little ones, the two little girls, is it the same father? And I said, no. I said, they call one man dad because that's all the older one knows. But, and because he's been in her life since she was a baby, that's all she knows. That's her dad. But no, separate. And then she didn't know this. And it's really funny because she knows the father. But the funny thing is, it's really crazy because I didn't think of anything of it, and I still don't think anything of it. It's a normal question amongst friends, that you ask, oh, but, and this is not the topic, it's just in my head now. But there has been times when I've been out and, people see my kids playing. And yeah, there's been times where I've been out, my daughters will be playing in the park or something, and, a random stranger will start up a conversation and be like, "Oh, they're so cute and adorable," and all that stuff. Yeah, they are. But but a random stranger will ask me, "They got the same dad?" I find that weird. I'm not gonna lie. I find it's not. I don't know. I don't know how to take it. It's like, it's just like, I don't understand when people do that. But because I was explaining the situation of a few weeks ago and everybody was on my case, like, how did you not know? I thought, that made me think of that, and I thought I'd share it today. But the whole point is of what I was explaining about not knowing is that for me, that doesn't come into my head who's their father and all of that stuff. Why? I don't understand the need to know this unless obviously friends and family, you want to know about each other, and it's normal for you to know, but randomly, no. But anyway, I didn't know that these two had a child together. But then the craziest thing as well is that I'm friends with the sister, really good friends with the sister, not everyday friends, but we're close, and of the father. And I didn't know that they were brother and sister either, but I do know their surnames. This is where the topic gets to where I'm going now. I know their surnames. They both got the same surname. So, I could have put two and two together, but really, could I have? Because I went to school with this guy, and I've known this girl, the sister and brother I'm talking about, for how many years now, since college times. But I've never seen them together. They I'm not looking at him and her and thinking they look alike because there's been no reason to. I haven't seen him in years as well. So it's like a lot of years, probably since back at school. And I'm a grandma, believe it or not. So we're talking about a good few years. Um, not that old, but a good few years. But anyway, the whole point is the surname is the same, but I wouldn't put it together from that. So I learned a few things a few weeks ago about some of the longest friends I've had in my life that I didn't know that I should have known, and I've been ridiculed for it. Everyone's like, "What is wrong with you, Tasha?" I'm like, why are you like this? But I'm just not in people's business, and it's not even about being in people's business. It's not of importance. Beautiful young boy, beautiful mother. Didn't know you was the father, and I haven't seen you in years, so whatever you are, beautiful or not, I don't know, but you're a lovely person as I knew you as in school. So it's like it's not a fact, but it's not important for me. But there you go. Some people, this is the first question on their mind with even strangers, and some people it's just like it just doesn't matter. Now, my point is now where I'm going is the surname is the same. Some people they both got the surname. And I know quite a few people with the same surname as me, but they didn't come from a father, and I didn't come from their father. So, the surname is a surname, but a lot of us have the same surnames. You got the Smiths, the Joneses, the Patels, the lots of different surnames are the same. You could go on. There's, and it doesn't mean, that they're your brother or your sister. So in my family now, let me bring it to my experience before I then go on to what I just think generally, well, is what I think generally anyway. But the fact is that my eldest son, he has his dad's surname. My two younger daughters, they have my surname. And if I had my son when I was 18, so I was young, it was planned, and something we both wanted. And back then, obviously I was young. I think I thought I was in love. I know I definitely wasn't. But, I think at a point, I thought I was in love, and I still got love for my son's dad. Don't get me wrong. I don't particularly like him, but I've got love for him. I don't hate him. I just don't like his ways. I don't like the way he behaves sometimes. So I don't hate him. It's just, yeah, we can stay on our separate lanes. We don't need to. My son's a grown man now. He's giving me a grandchild. But yeah, I have love for him. I will always have love for him. He is a good dad. He does, we've had our bumps in the road and stuff with things that I've explained we might not have liked about each other and stuff like that. But when it comes to parenting, he can say whatever he wants. You better just acknowledge that I'm a damn good mother, and he's a good father. So anyway, the whole point is he's got his dad's surname, and when we were deciding about the surname, because we lived together, family unit, thought we was going to get married, all of this stuff. He did eventually propose, but it was too late. My heart was gone, and we separated. And it was I want to keep you proposal, so it didn't matter anyway. But the whole point is I don't regret it. I would prefer, he's married now, so this is my thing now. He's married now, so me in my feelings. Funny enough, it wasn't me in my feelings. My son brought it to me, and then I got into my feelings. This is what he said. So his dad remarried, so that means that my son's got this woman's surname, and this woman hasn't been the nicest person to my son. She was a bloody bitch. I'm just gonna put it straight. I ain't got time. I ain't got nothing against her. She's got something against me. I think that might have simmered down now. I think my son's in his adult life has put that to, because we haven't been around each other. There was no entanglement, no scandal there, for me to expose or talk on. My son's dad moved on, quite a few years after we had separated. I moved on straight away. And so there was a big long gap. There was no entanglement, nothing. There was no reason. But sometimes you move on with a person and they have, you know, kids in another relationship, and you realize that well, I don't know, but I realize some people might realize that they start getting resentment towards the child, because I have no idea. My brain doesn't work that way, so I'd have to investigate why to go into the whys. Let me just keep on topic. But anyway, so it was fine. He was a good father. We lived together. I thought I was going to get married eventually. So giving my son his surname seemed right. I didn't second guess it. I didn't pay any thought. Do you know what I mean? I didn't give it any real thought, because you know, like I was saying, I was young and so many different things. But then, you know, as years, my son's grown up and, you know, gone through his own battles with this woman and whatnot, and then his dad's gotten married, and my son brought to my attention, so now, Mum, I've got another woman's surname and not yours. And a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, I didn't think about that. I did not think about that. So now I'm in my feelings. It crept on me. I said, ah. I said, ah. I said, okay. So I had to think about that for a little bit. And then I said, So then the next thing was, you know, I'm not going to try and, you know, be bad mind and stuff. So I said, well, you know, we had a discussion. How do you feel about it? He said, I don't like that, you know, but I like having my dad's surname, but I don't like that. So then my son, what he did is, this might go longer than I thought actually. What he did is then, for a minute, he kind of had a little go at me, you know, like he went into his feelings, like, why did you separate? This is years later, because we separated when my son's 4, and my son is 19 now, almost 20 in a few months. So, and they've gotten married just a few years ago. So my son took set on me, and I have to laugh because it is actually really funny. I find it funny when I'm looking back and I'm thinking, Ray, how you check set on me? But we've got this relationship, a beautiful relationship. So, you know, so he said, you know, instead of saying, you know, like, you know, why did you double barrel it? Things that I would think about now, or he might think about now, or, you know, he said, why did you separate? Why did you make things work so we could all have the same surname and all this stuff? And anyway, we got past that. What the result is that I said to my son, I said to my son, well, you can change your name. I don't know why I'm laughing so much. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry, because I'm hearing myself, and I'm hearing how it might sound. But I said to him, you could change your surname, and he said, what? He said, I can do that. I said, yeah. So now I'm saying it, I feel like I you know, out there planting seeds, but I wasn't. I really don't feel like I was. I was just telling him what the options are. So I said, well, you know, we're having a discussion. I'm saying, well, if you don't want her name, I don't particularly want you to have her name either. You know, we can change the surname. So, you know, it took a while, months and stuff, because he's contemplating it, and he had all of this guilt, you know, that's my dad's surname and close to the family, and I love their family as well. And he's like, oh, all of them, you know, it's like I'm disowning. And I said, you know, I did say, you know, well, you know, it's up to you. It's completely up to you, because me, I'm fine, but it is yuck that you lot have the same surname now. But for me anyway. But anyway, my son went ahead and he changed his name, but he didn't change it fully. He did the paperwork, and he said he will think about it, because there's a process. I don't know if you know, there's a process when you change your name. You pay for it, you change your name, do all the documentation, but it doesn't actually change until you change. You use that document that you've paid for to officially change things like your passport and your birth certificate and stuff. So he didn't go through with that. It's just there. If he chooses to, he chooses to. And I can't remember. I was thinking to check before I did this video, so I do apologize if he double barreled it, or if he changed it to just, you know, my surname. But the thing was, he he contemplated on it because he's got mad love for his dad. His dad's got mad love for him. The relationship's always been lovely, and you know, yeah, the guilt. But anyway, that was that. So it got me thinking now. So obviously, my next child, 13 years down the line after my son, I obviously didn't have a problem because her dad was just non-existent, and that's for another story. I don't have any. Funny enough, I don't have any malice against him, and I will. I will definitely explain that in another story because I do need to do a. I do want to do a story about. Never mind. Anyway, I will discuss that another time. But so there was no problem. You're having my surname. That's it. I'm not giving you your dad's surname. I do know his family and all of this stuff, and we've grown up together. But you're having my surname, and it wasn't because he was non-existent. It was because I had learnt something, and and it was through my son, you know, giving me that like little realization. Um, I am raising my kids in my household, and I'm so sorry. And it could, and everybody is different. So don't think I'm saying this should be the case for everybody, because like I said, I don't regret my son having his dad's surname because he's always been a good dad. He lived with us, and before it just didn't go that way. But this is the way we did things, and you know, you have to know how you want to do things and be clear in your mind when you have children and if these things matter to you. Some females, it don't matter. Some men, it don't matter. For me, it matters. My dad was a wonderful man. I, you know, rate my dad to the fullest. Six of us, always there. The whole point is I value having my dad's surname. Now, if I get married, I will value having that man's surname. And then, you know, we will all have the same surname. So I've got a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old. Both 6-year-old and 3-year-old have my surname. My 3-year-old, I was in a relationship. We didn't live together, we was in a relationship. And this one, same father. And she is going to have my surname too. We are good. We get along and all of this stuff. But there has been a lot of madness. But even without the madness, they would still have my surname. And it's something that I've battled with because it's something that he feels strongly about and it's something that I feel strongly about. But my thing is, in my own situation is that I am carrying these children. They are under my household. In my particular situation, you have disappeared a few times. You've disappeared a few times. So already I'm like, hold on, you know, I have to be prepared to know that just because you know, you come to your senses and come back or come up with an excuse and come back, I have to be prepared to know that I am raising these children. And this is the thing, when as women, I just strongly believe when as women and we decide to have children, no matter how the child has come about, whether it's planned or not planned, both of mine, you know, there's no question, there was no, oh, slip or mistake, you know, both these two young ones, you know, very clear what was about to happen and what was going to happen and what we were doing. But the whole point is that as a woman, because we have options, those options are not for me at all. I will I could go into depth of how strong I am about, you know, not doing certain things to. I'm very against abortion. I'm sorry, but anyway, that's just me. I'm not. You know, everybody each to their own. I'm not, you know, judgmental about others. It's just what me and my heart can and cannot tolerate, can and can't do and live with and all of that stuff. But my whole point is that as women, When you decide to have a child, you're deciding to have a child, it should be because you want to have a child. It shouldn't be because you want to keep some man or act like you're giving him a trophy or prize. Oh, I have your child or what, not. Go away with that. For me, no. I love my children. I love children, but I love my children. I know that the way I'm saying it might sound funny, but these are my children. They're mine. They're mine. Okay, so I'm not, fellas, understand. I'm not saying they're not yours, but if I am raising my children in my household and you are behaving as if they do not matter or they are, somewhere down the line in your importance, and you're showing that to me, then I have no regard for your feelings. I will take it on board. Somewhere in me will take it on board, I think. But it's not going to change the fact that for me, these are my children. They are my number one priority. It's not, oh, they come somewhere down the list after this and that and that and this, So when I am deciding that I want my children to have my name, you can huff and puff and blow whatever house you think you can blow down, but I'm telling you that my children are having my name. And it's not a battle. It's not to punish you or nothing. But it's number one is, wait, first of all, I get a bit confused because, in my own situation, sorry if there's people that this might offend. Why would you think that I want your name in my household? Why would you think that I want your name in my household? My name is my name, your name is your name, but then the kids that I've, grown in my stomach, bringing into the world, raising by myself, you might be there sometimes, or you might be there all the time, but you're not there, not all the time, or, regularly, but you're not a part of the household. But then I have to be, like, I like to call my daughters by their full name, my children by their. Why am I calling out somebody else's surname? Just answer me. Why? I'm so sorry. It just gets me, like, because I was having this conversation with a few people lately. That's why I'm doing this topic. Why am I calling out somebody's surname in my house? Why am I calling my children your surname? You've decided we're having these kids. And now I'm talking generally. You might have want them, you might not have want them. And what really gets me is men that talk about, oh, I wasn't ready and all of this stuff, and they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But then they're ready to say, oh, I wanted them to have my name. And I've got friends, male friends that have done this, that have expressed this to me. And I'm like, well, and even if their name's double barreled, I've heard men say they're not happy that it's double barreled. And it's just, I just feel like, where do you get off? If the woman wants to do that, of course that's fine. But then if the woman doesn't want to do that and she's raising the child in her home and you're not part of that home, especially if you were trying to deny that you wanted the child, or you're not even pulling your weight, where do you get off? Like I explained to my daughter's father the other day, and I said, already, I'm very strong about the kids having my dad's surname. My dad's passed, and it's something that I just want to carry on. So even if me and him did work out, and he was part of the household and stuff like that, it would still be strongly. I said it from when we were together and everything was fine. I want them to have my surname. So it's not any malice or anything. It's something I feel strongly about. That's why I said every situation is different. Some people feel strongly about it, some people don't. But then if it continued that we were still good, well, we were good when I gave the surname. He just didn't turn up, because I was contemplating double barreling it, but we've got long surnames, and it's just a nonsense sometimes. I just think, why? But the whole point is that I would have considered double barreling it, but it would have hurt my heart. And I was saying to him, now where things are have transpired, and you've done these little disappearing acts, which, fair enough, I had an issue with, but I had to watch our children go through their trauma with, where's daddy? Why would you think that I then want to be calling out your name in my household? Yes, we are cool. Yes, we are cordial, we're civil, and I'm very open with access. And there's no, I haven't laid down any boundaries or anything like that yet. I say yeah, because there's no need for, no, this is another discussion as well that has to come, but there is no need for boundaries as yet. There will be in the future, I'm sure. But where there is no need, there is no need. But the whole point is, my whole point is that there are things that happen where people are scarred, and then you'll say then you want them to be calling out your name in the household, and then there's just, you didn't do things the way you were supposed to do it. So I'm not okay. So my thing is now, when you get together with someone, if it's not planned, it's not planned, but you need to discuss these things. What would happen if, I've always, even just, even if you're not in a relationship or anything, if you're going to sleep together, there's always a chance that a baby will come. You have these conversations. What would happen if, and, if we had a baby together, what would, you discuss these things. And I've always been open with where I stand with, what I value and what I don't value and stuff. And surnames has been one of them. But also with the surname, which many of you might know as well, is sometimes when your child has your partner's name and not yours, there's difficulties in airports and stuff. My friend told me a funny story the other day about her in the airport and them asking for her son's birth certificate because he's got the dad's name, and that the son looks dead stamp of her. So she said some things, and I don't I don't know, I was telling her, I don't know if I believe that you said these things, because they were so rude and and disrespectful. But yeah, and she started talking about them taking DNA. Take the DNA, because you ain't getting no birth certificate. She was telling them, not her, love her to bits. Oh God, she can always make me laugh. But the whole point is, there are difficulties, and we have to carry these difficulties. Even some schools, dad's, surname and all of this stuff, they want to know, they want a signature from dad and mum. If dad's refusing to come, now we've got that extra strain. This is the thing. Okay, so now let me get to it, because some of the things that were put to me was, needs to have, because I was asking why, I just want to know why. Why is it so important that the child has your surname more than you having more regular time with the child? Why aren't you trying to do, be more in the child's life more than you're screaming out surname? And it is the same for a few of my friends that mentioned this. I'm thinking, but you're not screaming about, more time, or trying to have more time, because you're allowed to have more time, but you're not trying to do that. You're trying to talk about surname. So my thing is that I was hearing reasons like, oh, they have a whole family that they're not going to know if they don't have my surname. That came from me, my personal experience. And when I hear foolishness like that, I do have to look somewhere other than at you, because I'll do a silly look, because you're telling me silliness now. Because a child knowing their family has nothing to do with their surname. I'm not being funny. That yes, you can say it might make it easier or whatever, but there's a lot of other things that go into it. And then I think I listened to something the other day where they were saying that, oh, if they passed away, it would make it harder for the child to get what they needed because they don't have the surname. That's not actually true, because you can you when you go to the registry office, okay, you decide what surname, but then you both put your names on the birth certificate, so it states who the dad is and it states who the mum is. It doesn't matter what surname. So then, and if you went by that logic, then what would happen if the mother died then and this child had your surname? If you went by that logic, it just, but anyway, and the logic of, oh, they have a whole family that they're not going to know because they don't have my surname. I'm sure there's many of you looking at like, what are you talking about? Where did that come from? So foolishness was getting told to me, and I was just like, okay, But anyway, my whole point is, for us as mothers who are, you know, if we're a single household, um, you know, parents, and we're doing all of the forms and all of that stuff, and then the child has the dad's surname and stuff, sometimes it just makes our lives difficult. And you're just thinking, why, if the dad's name is now on the birth certificate but you lot are not together and the dad is being difficult and you need the dad's details to get your child's birth certificate, not birth certificate, passport, sorry, that's a whole nother thing. And then when you renew it as well, this is how it used to be, you need their details again. Listen, Lord God, give me strength in life. I ain't got time for it, you know. I have not got time for it. When you get together with somebody, you need to iron out what your expectations are. Or when you have a child, whether you're together or not, you need to iron out. But you need to not feel guilty, made to be felt guilty, because you need to do what you need to do to make your life easier in raising your children. Do you know what I mean? The thing is as well, what was being said to me is that it's just normal for you to give the child the dad's surname. That's not true either. I'm sorry, it's not true. Let me tell you why it's not true, because I did research it. Now, let's, okay, so traditionally, some of us, all of us have grown up of, oh, you give the, you know, the dad's surname. It's not that. Is the family takes the man's surname. So me and you's not married. You didn't give me your surname and then we had kids and everyone, and they have our surname. It's a family name. So when you're throwing these things out, you have to know what you're throwing out. It's not, oh yeah, I'm the man. And what? I need to calm down before I go into labor, you know. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this subject really annoyed me, and I'm sorry it's a little bit all over the place, as you know, sometimes I can get. I'm sure once my hormones settle down, it will be more constructive. But the whole point is that the things that I wanted to bring to your attention is, your household is your household, isn't it? So you think about your household and what you want in your household, and you think about what's going to make things difficult. And as men, you need to realize, like, it's not, oh, some ego thing, yeah, child have my surname and all that stuff, and you're not even doing anything. And even if you are doing anything, you are doing things, then you should have into your mind as well, like, oh yeah, you know what, this is their household, they live here, and all paperwork and all that stuff falls on this one. You know, it's just a lot of things to think about. Some people it works for and they want it that way, that's fine. But for me, no, I just don't believe and I don't understand why people get so touchy. Men get so touchy about the surname thing. I wanted them, him, or whatever, to have the surname, you know. Then behave in a way where your children have your surname then. Sorry, I know that's not always possible. But yeah, maybe I'll scratch that. No, I'm not gonna scratch that. Behave in a way, yeah, for those on that are not behaving in that way, you should behave in a way where, you know, you can see where the child should have a surname. But then also you need to be able to um that's just really, it's really hard to say this. You need to be able to know in yourself that you're not gonna leave the woman and child in a situation that's gonna make their life difficult because your surname's there, or because your name's on the birth certificate. Because although everyone's talking about surname, the actual fact is, it's the fact if your name is on the birth certificate, you know. This is where everyone gets it wrong. It's your name being on the birth certificate that gives the power. The surname could be something that's different from both of you, but from both of you, from your name is on the birth certificate, that is, you know, where the power is. I suppose with the airport situation, it does actually matter what the surname as well. But in courts of law and all of that stuff, if you go into that, it matters about what the name is on the birth certificate. If your name is on the birth certificate, father and mother. But yeah, anyway, it was just meant to be a quick video touching on that. Let me know your thoughts. DM me. Let me know if you think I'm wrong about whatever. Discuss. Let me know. Educate me. These are my feelings. Your feelings could be completely different and completely could change my mind and the way I'm thinking. So, yeah, hit me up. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, and let me know your thoughts. Thank you.